Here is another material, and probably looking at 10 years, give or take a year or even 2 years in both directions. Okay, what do we do on these? If nothing else, just remove all the center candles, especially the center one. If nothing else, if you're too busy, always remove this or you end up with a tall guy with no taper. So basically, remove the candle. You can start to evaluate. But I think you have the, and then as we go this way, I don't know why I have this in there that I'm not sure if it's the right location or not. Okay, now if we change the front, I still keep this as the fattening branch or the sacrifice branch. And then on this back side, I have one that comes out. Don't need all that, especially that part that's coming up. So I'm going to shorten it to here and then use that as more of a back branch off of this number one. And these are not all necessary, but I'm going to keep it for now. And then as we go up, we have some branches that are too big. We have small ones in its place, so we don't worry about it. And then as I look up this section, okay, so what I'm looking at is this section here. As it comes up, it was doing good, and then it got really long. I'm thinking of using this guy here as the apex. So what I do is I cut it off. And I got rid of the problem. Now it turns. We have the movement and we have the taper. So now back to this being the front again. There are extra branches in place, but that's okay. I made the major change. I'll do a few more touch-ups. But because this is material, not finished product, I'm going to let this go for now. Well, maybe not this one, because there's two branches and this is too heavy for the location. I'll just take that one off. Now I'm ready. I hope you can see this. Within this green needles, we have these sort of yellowish brown bands. That's most likely rust or some sort of fungal disease. That could be sprayed and taken care of. But usually when you spray, you won't see any results. These that gets damaged one way or another will always be like that. They need to come off. So unless you have a very heavy infestation, most of the time either wait and or cut them off. You could do like so, then it won't spread and won't look unsightly. Or you could just pluck them off. And if you're lazy like me, most of the time if you wait long enough, it'll fall off. Unless it's a prevalent disease, it could spread. But on a pine, we very seldom ever see insects or diseases. I see this from occasionally, and I don't know what causes it, but I know if you hit it with a fungicide, then it'll usually go away, or just do nothing, and most of the time. Okay, we're starting to look at things that have maybe 15 plus years. This have gone through the 5-gallon training process and now into a mica pot or in the final stages of refinement. All the elements are in place: the roof flare, taper, and movement. Taper and movement in the trunk. What do we do from here? Well, we have the branches more or less in the right place. This one here, I'm not sure if it's a sacrifice branch, meaning it's going to come off, or should we keep it incorporated in the design? It really doesn't matter at this point. We just kind of continue on as if it was part of the design. And the difference between that and a true sacrifice branch is true sacrifice branch, we don't do anything, let it shoot way out here with the anticipation of just cutting it. But now that we're getting closer and closer to the finish, we could shape this like a slightly oversized first branch and keep that shape so it could stay as a permanent part of the design, or it could get cut off as a sacrifice. So you have these options now. And basically what we're going to be doing at this stage is to remove the center candle, wait for the secondary to come out, and break those in half. Essentially, we're working on improving the quality of the branches now and not having to really deal that much according to the need of the plant, not by the calendar. Trying to keep everything so that it will go horizontal and or slightly dip down. This was kind of a sad situation. I should have never let it get to that point where there's nothing. I think I have this branch here, so I might be able to cut later if nothing pops. So on a pine, if you neglect it, it'll show up and it will haunt you for a long time, and sometimes you could never correct it. That's why it's very important to execute correctly at the right time always. So I think that took care of the center candle for now. And what I'm going to do is set this aside. Maybe within weeks, possibly next month, we'll show you the next step. Because by then, after the center candle, the secondary will have come out. So it's like all parts of bonsai, we're going to sit and wait. Of course, you got 5,000 like me, you don't have much waiting because constantly in need of work.